All right, third time's a charm. Let's see if this works. Hopefully people get some notifications this time. Whoa. We got anybody? Oh, we got one, it's working. All right, guys, so what's going on? I haven't done that one in a minute. I got a hay, so third time's a charm. Sorry it's taken me so long to get this live video started. There's my man. So I've got a couple of moderators in the group today. My good friend Mike Johnson, Discovery Duo, will be in there. See the little wrench next to your name. Also friends at Heirloom Permaculture, possibly. Hey guys. All right, we're giving a couple people a few minutes here to turn in. What's going on, Tapa? I think I got a question for you on the list here, so I'll be answering that towards the end. The whole idea is to kind of do a full circle around this place. What's up, Dan? And get back to the questions and answer them here towards the end. So giving you guys just a minute or two to kind of tune in. It's taken me a couple of tries to get this live video going. Oh, there he is. What's going on, Heirloom Permaculture? All right, so I guess we could probably start kind of walking around a little bit. I'm gonna try, so I do have a Rode Video Micro on here, kind of trying to give you guys better audio. I'm not perfectly stable. This is why I use a gimbal. But I'll show you guys what's going on around the farm. It's definitely been a little while. We had a really, really mild winter last year. Last year's winter was like very calm. Let's hope this year's like that again. A lot of my tropicals are back. How you guys doing? Oh, we got Naples in the house. Okay, so this guava was completely frosted to the ground 2 years ago. It's back, it's not fruiting yet. This cherry of the Rio Grande set a lot of fruit for us this year. Beautiful tree, it's a Eugenia, has the beautiful bark on it. It's a cold hardy cherry, definitely not a Bing cherry, more of a tropical cherry. This is the one I could probably knock the question out. So you guys are wondering about growing jackfruit up here in Spring Hill. And for those of you who haven't watched the channel before, I guess just kind of talk about where we're at. So I'm on 11 acres in zone 9B, just north of Tampa, Florida. So yeah, first live stream. So I think we did this one other time during the hurricane. Right here behind me, this was the Jack Frost jackfruit. So this is the one that, I named Jack Frost because it made it through the first frost from the year before last. So about 3 years ago, it's come back now. I'm going to show you the bottom of the tree and you can really see where it's healed. So, this thing came back up from the ground. That's the heel around from where it froze back down. And I have, 20 to 30 jackfruits here around the farm that have all come back up. I have never planted a grafted jackfruit. These are all seedling jackfruits. So it's kind of like no big deal. If you do lose a jackfruit here in a zone north where you're probably not supposed to be growing them, it's not the end of the world if it's a seedling. So in the greenhouse, I actually have some male flowers starting to show up on that bigger jackfruit that I made a video on specifically. Hey Val, what's up guys? So right here behind me, you guys can see, I've got pomegranates hanging. It's been a really, really wet, soggy summer. So, everything is just growing like mad. Like just the other day, we hard pruned the market garden out here. I did a serious chop and drop, cut back. I'll show you that here in a second. I can't keep up. Obviously we have no irrigation out here. I've talked about that many times. This is the chaya. And we'll kind of walk around through here and just kind of show you guys like how overgrown this place is. It's a jungle. All of this thrives on neglect. We don't use any irrigation in any of our garden beds. We don't use any fertilizers. Everything's done with compost tea. This is probably my main fertilizer. And what's really funny here is like my first YouTube video after Justin Rhodes came, my first 20 or 30 videos I did with my cell phone. And the very first one was about this plant. The phone literally dropped out of the bush. And, this is what I like to call the comfrey of the South. This is like what we grow for our fertilizer. This plant is, pound for pound equal to chicken manure. It's unbelievable. So, we grow this as a chop and drop. This will grow 6 foot in a month, so I'm cutting this, laying this down around the trees, and then I'll lay the grasses on top of it. And that's kind of giving me that carbon nitrogen ratio that in that breakdown process. Lots of loquats, obviously. A couple of loquats are actually already starting to flower, which is really wild. Seems a little bit early for that. Cassava, if you guys are down here in Florida and you think you have a brown thumb for growing, try growing cassava. You can't fail. Get a cutting from somebody. This is like super, super easy to grow. Awesome root crop. This is what they make tapioca from. High starch. I've got a couple of different varieties growing here on the farm. This is just one for bringing in, beneficial insects, predatory insects. That's a firebush. That's a native species. So I guess I should probably talk about that for a second. You know, here on the farm, we've got about 1,200 fruit trees and all different types of native plants and perennial vegetables. But the main thing that we're growing out here is soil. You know, we're building soil, so that's our main focus. And what we're doing that with, and what our kind of our big key to success has been the mulch, hardwood mulch. You know, here in Central Florida, that tends to be a waste product in most places. So, you know, it's the key. You could see this big path that we're walking on here. This is all mulch. This is all a nitrogen fixing ground cover right here. So this is perennial peanut. You can see over here, there's actually some orange flowers on it, yellowish flowers, I guess you could say. Like, these are edible. So nitrogen fixing ground cover, sustainable lawn alternative, makes an edible flower. It doesn't get too much better. I see the Hart brothers. What's going on, guys? Got some olives here in the system, lots of goldenrod, lots of clumping grasses, fioja. This is the pineapple guava. This one doesn't actually produce fruit very well for me, but the flowers are delicious. They're edible, it's cold hardy. I just saw somebody post recently in Central Florida that he was getting fruit, so that really that excited me a little bit. So, you know, everybody knows, probably if you've been following my channel, we've had some really, really cold events here. So this last year, I did not replant a lot. Like, we lost a lot of our passion fruits growing up the trees. You know, I've bragged a lot about pushing the edge, and more or less now going forward, I've been kind of sticking to the things that are tried and true. So we've added a lot of cold hardy persimmons, a lot of cold hardy avocados, you know, the things that are very guaranteed here. This is a, oh, I know the botanical name, but this is a jelly palm, Jabuticaba. Makes an edible fruit, kind of tastes like a pineapple-ish type flavor. Whoa, Central Florida checking in. Yes, yeah, so somebody mentioned hand pollinate with the fioja. I have heard of people having success with that. That is a good one. You can see there's a little bit of a banana rack right over here. Ooh, oh, I'm almost on it. So this is not easy. I'm used to, yeah, the jelly palm is awesome. So papayas and sugar cane and lots of native sages. One of my summertime favorites that grows like a weed down here. This one is called, cranberry hibiscus, and this one's actually just good to eat by itself. Goes good in a salad, goes good on a sandwich. Kids like that one. It's kind of tangy, a little bit sweet. And you can see a combination of ground covers in here. We've got sweet potatoes, we've got Thai pepper leaf, there's loquats, there's different hibiscus, yams growing up the oak tree, another loquat. This is all turmeric. So here's another easy to grow, bulletproof crop. You know, if you guys want to try to grow something easy, turmeric, buy the root, make sure it hasn't been, you know, treated or something like that, plant it. It's really easy to grow out. I'm still kind of in the process of growing out my turmeric. So every year or every 2 years, we'll usually harvest it, split it, and kind of spread it. So we'll put it out throughout the yard, the farm, you know, where I started with 50 pounds of turmeric. I probably have 400 or 500 pounds now. Eventually we'll be at a few thousand. So grows like a weed here. This is elderberry, some chaya back in there, some bananas. So this is a really cool one. This is a broadleaf papaya, has a really interesting leaf on it. Obviously covered in some fruit right now. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram and you want to see more of my day-to-day stuff, you can follow my stories on there, constantly on Instagram, probably a lot more than any other platform. You know, this is one that I just made a post about recently. You can eat these green. They're delicious as a vegetable. You can eat the papayas ripe. You know, they're delicious ripe. You know, you can use the straws as a stem. So, you know, even if you're kind of a little bit further north, you can kind of grow this as an annual if you feed them heavily. Get them growing, get them fruiting fast. Definitely an easy to grow crop. This variety is very interesting. And I guess what I really wanted to point out was this is the one that took 26 degrees or 24 degrees for 6 hours here 2 years ago, and it's back up and fruiting. So even some things that I thought I lost are still back. I probably grow 10 different types of turmeric, and while I'm here, let me just show you guys these absolutely gorgeous flowers. They are something else. And so I was literally just in Lowe's yesterday on my Instagram stories, and I made a little story about this this turmeric, and they were selling one plant with one flower in a pot for 29 bucks. Like, wow. That's pretty, it was like mind blowing. I'm in the wrong business. I need to be selling potted turmeric for a living. You know, that's just, that's kind of a little bit price gouging, you could say, where you could just buy the root, grow it, and it'll flower on its own. Not to mention the organic turmeric is probably, you know, 15 bucks a pound, 20 bucks a pound. Oh, there's my girl. Ginger, you coming over to say hello? Here's Farm Patrol. This is our dog, Ginger. Olives do really well here. So I just mentioned to you guys about already having a loquat flowering, and here it is. So that's really exciting. Loquats come in the wintertime here. Normally they start around Christmas and go through April. I don't think these will set, but we'll see. This is a big mulberry, another big mulberry. We probably grow about 10 to 12 different types of mulberries on here. And I guess one of the questions I got about for today's video was, tips on growing mulberries. So first pro tip I'll give you with mulberries is hard pruning the mulberries will actually get them to fruit a second time. So commonly speaking, only the everbearing mulberry will fruit, multiple times per year, but you can get the giant, you can get the Pakistani, you can get the Peruvian, you can get the white to fruit a second time by just doing hard pruning. So, out here in my market garden, and this is the market garden, this was literally, whole place was 10 foot tall 2 days ago. We came through, I'm actually starting to use chainsaws now. I use a small chainsaw. It cuts back on time. I can cut back the entire forest in, an hour where it would have taken me 3 to 4 hours with, loppers and hand pruners. So we chopped everything back in here. And when I originally moved in, I planted these mulberries as espalier. So you can see it's just starting to break down here on the ground. This whole wall got pruned and, multiple varieties. The big leaf is the giant. The small is the everbearing. You can see a couple of little fruits. The everbearing was just fruiting again. And out here in the market garden, we have mostly peaches, plums, persimmons, pears, cold hardy avocados. The whole central region has fig trees. This is a lot of turmeric. There's actually some eggplant out there, some more peaches, cassava. Really, I have no time for annual vegetables. So, mostly our focus out here is fruit trees and perennial vegetables around the entire farm because, I don't have to replant those every year. They thrive on neglect. They don't need any water. They don't need any fertilizer. For my focus of being an edible landscaper for a living, we don't do a lot of annual vegetables here. Most people that follow the channel know that. So this is our main drive coming in, and I really just have a big pollinator corridor here. Everything from sweet almond, elderberry, vitex or the chaste tree. These all work really great, as catch crops for, like the elderberry will feed the birds. We're attracting lacewings and parasitic wasps and ladybugs, from having all these different flowering species here. So, yes, we have a farm. Like I said, our main focus is growing soil, but it's about creating this ecosystem by having all these multiple species, all these multiple smells. We don't get a lot of pests. I don't spray for anything. I get questions all the time, about what you do if you get a pest on a tree or a bug on this. And, to be honest with you, I don't do anything. I let nature kind of run its course. We do use compost teas out here when I have time. That's another thing. So over here, this is one of my purple possum passion fruit varieties. This was growing all the way up the oak tree, and that one's died back. I've had to replant it. So I mentioned we're on 11 acres and about, I guess, 2.5 acres on this side of the farm gets sun. And on the other side of the farm, like I said, we just expanded. I probably have about another 3 acres of full sun. So a lot of the property is like this deep understory of these oak trees, like I'm around me right now. I mean, these are all grandfather live oaks. They're all probably, 80 to 100 years old. This is definitely old grove. I'm actually going to be making a post about this one tomorrow on Instagram. So I guess I could show you real quick. This is the Beautyberry Calicarpa americana. And it's got these little purple berries on it. And they are edible, but they're not very sweet. And they taste bland. And yesterday I was working over here in the nursery all day and I ate a miracle fruit towards kind of finishing up. We were potting up a bunch of Jabuticabas and walking back to the house, and I ate ate one of those beauty berries, and I'm like, whoa, like that was pretty good. And they're not normally sweet like that. And it took me a couple minutes to realize, like I was really excited. I thought I had this new variety of beauty berry. I thought I was going to name it, and long story short, remembered I ate the miracle fruit. But that one's really exciting because they're using the leaves for like a bug repellent. It's actually more powerful than DEET. So I'll make a little bit more of a detailed post. Check out my Instagram if you want to hear about that. A lot of these large hedges here are just all azaleas. Have really large varieties of clumping bamboo. These ones were literally frozen down to the ground 2 years ago. This is Dendrocalamus asper. These are the gigantus species. These have really good edible shoots. They can also get to be like 120 foot tall. Like they're going to pop out of the canopy. They're going to overpower the oak trees. So beautiful foliage though. Definitely beautiful trees in the landscape. I probably grow about 40 different varieties of clumping bamboo. Definitely amazing building material. Lots of them have edible shoots. It's one of the most useful crops in the world. Kind of working our way into one of our shade nurseries here. I was going to work you guys back by the new greenhouse and back behind the house, and then we'll go over to these questions and kind of wrap it up. You know, even with 30 to 45 minutes, I'm probably only going to cover half the farm. What's up, Caleb? Gavin's going to freak out when he knows you were on here. So in the shade area here, I have everything that does well in the dappled light. We've got all different types of gingers, curcumas, turmerics. Jackfruits can take dappled light really well. Lots of Jabuticabas, Monstera that actually makes a fruit. I mean, look at these cones on this spiral ginger. So have a very extensive nursery here. This is one of 3 of them on the farm. These actually make an edible side flower, which we just missed. It's yellow. Beautiful cone though. I'll show you one that actually has an edible flower in it right now. Regular ginger, galangal, lesser galangal. These are all jackfruit seedlings. And I only plant jackfruits from seedlings that are delicious. So, you know, I don't just plant any jackfruit seed. It has to be one that we really liked, has a unique flavor, and it gets a name, and we'll plant them out. So these are all Jabuticabas, like literally. You know, I just got done potting all of these up yesterday. I actually made a video for you. It'll be more of a long format video. I got a special mix. I talked about the mix. I talked about the trailer, talked about pruning, talked about fertilizer. So this is our potting trailer. It's aluminum. It's a tracking trailer. The front and back axles turn. We've got a couple of tracking trailers like this. Work really great for around the farm. And, you know, we'd be able to pull it right out here and pot right next to where we keep the trees. So here's that miracle fruit. And this one has fruits all over it. You could see. That's one of the little guys right here. These are becoming super popular with, you know, people that have cancer that are on chemotherapy. It actually helps them to be able to taste and enjoy their food for like 20 to 30 minutes. It'll make a lemon taste like an orange. And I guess, no, I probably shouldn't eat this. I was going to eat it, but I know I'm going to be eating some other stuff and it's going to mess everything up. So, but yeah, the seeds like this go for, you know, $1 to $2 a piece. People have like flavor tripping parties with these things. These are all miracle fruits out here along the outer edge. Couple of coffee bushes. I probably shouldn't have those. Some of the Camellia simensis. And over here we've got lots of taro, malanga. This is kind of a pineapple section, all different heirloom varieties of pineapples. And we'll work our way back into the other food forest. Oh, I hear you. Whoa. So over here on this side, we've got pagoda flowers. I have a edible canna lily. This has an edible flowers and roots on it. So a lot of our propagation kind of gets started over here in the dappled light, and certain species will move out into the full sun. This isn't the time to play ball. So these are all different varieties of bamboo. I mean, I've got the chungi, we've got the black, graceful. These ones are probably my favorite clumping variety I grow here on the farm. I've got about 15 of these clumps. There's 3 right here. There's 3 over there. There's 5 right here, and there's 3 over here. And this is a clumping variety called Old Hammy Eye. This one does have an edible shoot. Beautiful, really strong cane. Gets to be about 45 foot tall, so it's not that 100-foot clumper. And this one's cold hardy, so this is one that I don't have to worry about, you know, in the really brutal freeze event, you know, being any kind of problems of it coming back or something like that. This is the true Hamelia patens firebush. It's that native I spoke about earlier. And I have a small pond area over here. I don't know how long we're gonna get. I'm hearing some thunder in the distance. We're kind of back to those normal afternoon showers. Last week, we had like rain all day, every day. We got like 10 inches of rain. I guess I could show you guys this real quick. This is kind of exciting. I made a video about 6 months ago with some citrus I found in the understory. And these are seedlings from that Dancy citrus. According to locals and people that emailed me after that video, this is the Dancy variety of citrus. It's true to seed. It can fruit in 3 years. You know, all these trees were unaffected from the greening in the understory. What makes this really, really interesting, this is the understory of oak trees. I went to a class last week at UF, and they're having success with treating citrus with oak oils. So like all my kind of assumptions here are possibly true. There's something going on with the oaks. You know, the state's working with it. I cannot wait to see that research get released. So that is really exciting. Everybody always asks me what this is. This was here when we moved in. It's ornamental. It's a photos vine. This is an Adamoya that actually did come back after the last winter. There's that Monstera I was talking about that makes the fruit, kind of the Swiss cheese-like leaves, people like to call them. Uh-oh. I hear Gavin. He knows I'm out here. Whoa, got a rack. So, got some bananas over here, all on no irrigation, heavy mulch. Whoa, Adamoya. Yeah, you know, I got Adamoyas, sugar apples. Look at this, Rack City. Whoa, got racks. Got racks. I have bananas hanging on my back porch right now. Whoa. So most of these are the Orinoco variety. Oh, who's that? Your buddy's watching. Uh-oh, turmeric. We've got a combination of a velvet bean, sweet potato ground cover here that's just been coming back through the years. Gavin, you want to say what's up?
What up?
Say hello. All right, you know what I got for you, right?
What?
A miracle fruit. I can't eat it.
Oh, yeah. Might get some lemon.
I got to get better at directing this camera, man. I'm not used to these live videos. Are you
I'll
ready?
do it.
Now everything's going to taste good. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Running out of time, buddy. The sky's getting dark. So remember how I mentioned we just reset that entire front? What's going on, Texas boys? Just reset that entire front food forest. This one's only like 5 weeks of growth over Gavin's head. Like I'm gonna cut it down to his waist here in a week. So that's all the Tithonia, diversifolia. That's, you know, that's our fertilizer. Yeah, I don't really mess too much with citrus. But yeah, so these are all Mexican sunflower. There's big avocados back in there that fruited for the first time this year. Lots of firebush, cranberry hibiscus. There's plums in there and loquats. You can hardly see anything right now because it's ready to be chopped. We've been getting a lot of rain, things growing crazy. So this is my big greenhouse that we got through the NRCS. Gavin, you wanna show us around, dude?
Yeah.
What we got here? You know what this one is?
Is that the surname cherry?
This is the dwarf Barbados cherry.
Cherry. Okay.
Dwarf Barbados cherry. So y'all know, last time I did a live video, it was right during the hurricane, and I actually cut the roof, and it's still cut. I haven't fixed it during that event. Oh, Gab's got a butterfly. Whoa, okay. All right, I don't want to spend too much time in here. So this is a Eugenia stepatata. It just got done flowering. Should be selling or setting some fruits. I actually think I see some little fruits on there. I think they call this arasad in Costa Rica. This is a Patangatuba. This just got done flowering. And these are not super cold sensitive. I planted them in the greenhouse originally. That's a pretty sad miracle fruit.
Oh.
This is a Patomba. And then this, what was it, Gavin? No, this is the black Suriname cherry. Look under here. You see the flowers? So this one fruits literally multiple times a year for us. It's a great one. I'll show you one or two more in here. Oh, I see a yellow banana, Gav. Get over there. It's just a dink. It's like the end of a rack. I think Katerina harvested most of that rack already. So you guys can see we're definitely friendly with the birds in here.
Ooh, that's a lot.
You can see I got a nice bird nest going on inside of the harvest away. Gavin, why don't you eat one for us?
I don't know if they're...
Oh, Gavin's finding nanners. We almost missed that rack. That one's not quite fully developed.
There's a stink bug.
A stink bug?
Just like mulberries around here as well.
Oh, yeah? So lots of Barbados cherry in here. I know this one for the fruit collectors. You're going to love it. This is a big kombuka. This is another Patangatuba. This is a Grimmel Jabuticaba. This is just a regular red Jabuticaba. Whoa, we tried doing some dragon fruit in here. It never really was very successful, and it's a jungle in here right now. I need to prune. So I made the video about the jackfruit flowering 2 years ago. Here it is, back and flowering again. These are just the male flowers. They will pollinate the female flowers, which will normally come right off the trunk. And you'll see where this thing froze back to the ground, and it's already back.
There's a pineapple over there.
Is it ripe?
Oh, it's starting to. It's still pink, but it's still coming.
Whoa.
Right here.
We got pineapples, dude?
It looks nice.
Yeah?
He's gonna be a good one.
Ooh, pretty.
Pretty.
So, we find pineapples do really good in the understory. Gavin, let's head towards those starfruit trees, buddy. We've been going a while.
I had some for lunch.
You had some for lunch?
Gave some to Miss McNeil as well as my teacher.
So this Maha Chinook mango gave us about, I don't even know, 15 mangoes this year. This jackfruit, obviously back from the frost again. Another black Suriname cherry. Ooh, beautiful rack. Oh.
Oh,
What's that?
Right here.
It's a groomy chama, Gavin.
There's a spider here.
Spiders are taking care of bugs too, buddy. They're working for us. All right, we gotta get moving. We got storm coming. So this is a new addition. I just put up this greenhouse I made a video about it. It's coming out probably about 6 weeks ago now. I think it was mid-June. I was just getting ready to go take a course in Costa Rica. Just wrapped it up before I left. And what are we doing in there? Just seedlings and cuttings, right, Gavin?
Yep.
Just seedlings and cuttings. This is another one of the big nurseries, and I could do a video just on the nurseries and give you guys a little bit more detail. I don't want to spend a lot of time here. This was more of a food forest kind of farm tour. You gonna find some fruits for us, Gav?
Yeah.
But I mean, just to rattle off a couple things, a lot of pigeon pea, coral honeysuckle, 2 different varieties of the strawberry tree. You have the yellow and the red. All types of Barbados cherries and lychees and longans and starfruits and ice cream bean and, oh, ginger. Lots of black Suriname cherries. There's some grapes. There's some calianders. There's some blackberries. There's lots of banana varieties. These are all Rolenia. And then down there on the other end, oh, I have a huge stack of Atamoya. So I do have a bunch of those in stock too. This is the Chaya again. This is one that, like, you know, newbies, here we go for the brown thumb again. Like, you could take a cutting from this tree. Whoa. And I've left this on my desk and stuck it in the ground 2 months later and it still took off. This is one that Echo's using a lot. They're bringing this into, you know, malnourished countries, third world countries, and literally saving people's lives. This one's like moringa, longevity spinach, a lot of these easy to grow perennial vegetables. Can't do cashew here. Any fruits on this one, Gavin?
Actually, no.
All right, let's go around this one to the other one. I know where they're loaded up. So this is the second nursery, and the third, the biggest, is like a 5-minute walk over to the back side of the property. We're not going to make it that far today. Over my right shoulder here, we're walking by the our chicken concentration camp. We keep our girls behind bars, don't we?
Yeah. I get my
So
hair.
when I first moved in here, I lost 60 birds probably in the first 2 years. Foxes, coyotes, all different types of predators. So, you know, this was the only way to keep them safe. So, you know, I bring them scraps, I bring them weeds, I bring them different things from around the yard and feed them right there in the cage. All right, Gav, you want to go to that sour starfruit?
Yeah. Sour.
Yeah, that's the first one on the left's a little sour. The next one's sweet.
Well,
So,
sour 'cause
jackfruit, sugar apple. Oh, you just ate the miracle fruit. It's going to be really good. Whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, now these were froze to the ground 2 years ago. How do they have all this fruit? What? Here, I'll get you a good one right here, buddy. Whoa.
Oh.
Double header. Chomp.
Trump?
Chomp.
I like the green as well.
That one's a little green, actually. Let's get your riper one.
So get it.
This one's a little better. Here. This one's way more orange. Chomp it. You don't have to take off the edge.
Huh? Oh my god.
Is it good?
It's so sweet.
Woo. Good stuff? All right, I gotta learn how to direct this thing.
Yeah.
I need an arrow. It's not like the camera. So this one over here is a little sweeter. I probably have 10 varieties of starfruit, 15 trees on the farm. Oh, and I'll tell you guys right now, I was out with my mom last night. We went to Earth Fair, and these starfruits, probably half of this size, were $2 a piece. They were probably picked green. They were probably gassed. They were probably the standard kind of crappy commercial variety. The ones that we grow are
Way too sweet.
too sweet.
Yeah, too sweet.
Absolutely delicious. Beware of falling fruit. Yeah, you could say that again. So all right here behind me, this is an epic ground cover. This is that Thai pepper leaf. Looks really beautiful. Grows as a good ground cover. So like I said, big starfruit, big Jabuticaba, all different types of bananas. These are all the things that I found that do really well in the understory. Kind of coming up in here in that zone 1 behind my house. These guys literally came up like volunteers, probably from compost getting put in the ground out here. I have papayas in the deep shade fruiting. That one's just starting to set some flowers. You know, here's another starfruit. Look at the size of that fruit. Bigger than my hand. I believe this is the Fuang Tung or the Shriekum Banging variety. The best variety, in my opinion, is probably Kerry. It's just the sweetest. Pagoda flower. This is a coconut cream mango. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just luck. Go grab one of those bananas from the porch, Gavin. We got a rack hanging on the porch. So once we harvest the racks, we hang them upside down on a rope inside the screen area, and it kind of keeps the bugs off of them. Hey guys, how are you? So this mango was the most cold hardy mango I have on the farm. I don't know why, it's just luck, placement, but the coconut cream has come back really well, pushing new growth again. Hopefully it's gonna fruit. Gavin's got a Namwa banana to show you guys.
These are so sweet and good. Miracle fruits get help.
How's my angle?
Huh? Oh, a little more down. There. Should probably turn it around so I can see my face.
All right. There we go, dude. Show him, kind of break that thing in half. Show him how gooey that thing is. Show him, let me see the bananas. Kind of squeeze it in half. Grab the banana and split it so they can see how it's like gooey. It's not like the normal grocery store banana.
It tastes like candy.
Look at it, see how it's like pulling apart? Oh.
I can't, it's so gooey, I can't even split it.
Whoa.
I can't do it.
So these bananas literally have like a kiwi strawberry nuance. Oh, we got the Texas boys on here, buddy.
What up?
What up? Say what's growing on. No, it's more should be what's ripening. Oh my gosh, we're over 30 minutes. We got to start moving it. So this one is allspice. I got a big Rumichama here behind my house that just set some fruit and flower. This is an edible yam growing up it. There's a bracket of bananas up in there. Gav, you want to eat some katuk? Whoa, you finished that whole thing? Dude. All right, so edible katuk. This stuff's like 22% protein. Tastes like peas. Delicious perennial vegetable. Loves the shade. So that's another one that does really good in that dappled light area, excuse me. All right, Gav, let's show them what's growing on. Then I gotta answer some questions. We've been going a while.
She ate some of the starfruit.
So we've got canistel growing in here, jackfruits. This is the dwarf amarello. Actually has some fruit on it. Probably have 30 varieties of bananas here on the farm. I was probably in the close to 50 range there for a while. I lost at least 10 or 15, and I'm definitely more focused on, the varieties that taste good. I'm kind of done being a collector. I want the ones that are gonna fruit really fast. Whoa, look at those white starfruit, Gavin. Come on, go get some. Whoa.
White woods cheese.
Whoa.
Look how much are on the ground.
Well, this is definitely flang tongue. Whoa. Wanna try it?
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm gonna take off the greens because it's white.
Oh, you are. I have a set of hand pruners. Let me just peel it off, watch. Kid's a total ham.
Oh my God.
Nice, you got the moringa growing. That's awesome, bro. That's a good one, right? It's not as sweet, but it's really tasty.
Honest,
To
one
be
of the
honest.
great starfruit I've ever tasted in my whole entire life.
Oh my gosh. The best. That's because of the miracle fruit. That's because of the miracle fruit. So Gavin said best star fruit he's ever had in his life. Guys, I'm hearing the thunder moving in. I'm going to start moving this along a little quicker. I've hit like 25% of the food forest with you guys, and I'm going to work my way back up by the house and kind of go over those questions. So I don't have purple papaya trees. Purple papaya. I've recently seen a post about that with the purple stem. Oh, I was trying to see if there was an edible flower here on this spiral ginger behind me. So these make edible flowers that actually come out of the cones. They're really delicious. And this used to be our property line. We just got the 5 acres behind us within the last couple of months. We've been maintaining it for a couple of years, but we just finally took ownership. More of that beautyberry, lots of Suriname cherry. This is just the regular red variety. They fruit a couple times a year. Lots of turmeric. This is actually a longan seedling. Gavin, let's see if we can find a flower to eat over here. Oh, I know there's a rack over here. No flowers, so we just missed them. They were just cycling through.
So good.
I know, those are my favorite. Oh, dwarf Orinoco. Hopefully I got this directed properly. Can you guys see that? What? So, got nanners?
Real good.
All right, guys, 36 minutes, way over where I wanted to go. I'm gonna try to run through these questions. I've definitely answered a couple while I was going. Oh, I see one sticking out of the clump. So we have one of those edible flowers I was looking for.
These are so good.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm looking for those things all day.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna let you eat this, huh?
I don't know. I'm gonna eat it.
Whoop, eat it, eat it, eat it.
So sweeter because of the miracle fruit.
So sweeter, so sweeter. Yeah, definitely a lot sweeter after eating the miracle fruit. It's like a game changer. That flower on that spiral ginger is nice and crunchy. Gavin, they're saying hello to you. What's up, guys? How are you? Can you adopt me?
What's your name?
Food foresters, I think I saw. This is a Asian lemon variety. Gavin, you want to eat some more flowers? We've got some blue porterweed here.
So much like mushrooms. They're so good.
What do these taste like?
Mushrooms.
So yeah, the flowers on the blue porterweed, which is native here in Florida, literally taste like a raw mushroom. What do you think?
So good.
Hmm?
So good.
Oh, all right. So somebody asked me in the questions, what's my favorite fruit tree? And I think that's
Yeah, look at this.
Jabuticaba by far. You know, I've kind of got maybe 1, 2, 3, I'm looking right now in front of me, 7 or 8 of those kind of in that zone 1 of my house. A lot of them being really big, and these things fruit 6, 7 times a year. Oh, Gab, you want to show us the shampoo ginger too before I get into the Jabuticabas?
She's just giving me a hard time. But I'm gonna eat.
All right. So you guys see these right here, these pine cones behind us? This is known as shampoo ginger or awapui ginger. And this is the one Paul Mitchell uses for his conditioner. Gab, come here, show us this thing. Oh, grab that red one. Grab this one.
Oh, so
Whoa.
gooey.
Whoa, squeeze another one. I missed it. What does it smell like?
Ginger.
Ginger. It smells like ginger?
It's my ginger, but other ginger.
Okay, so guys, right here in that zone 1 of my house, Grimmel Jabuticaba, white Jabuticaba, Sabra Jabuticaba. This one's already fruited 4 or 5 times this year. It's just starting to set the little nubs. It's gonna fruit again. You can tell if a Jabuticaba is happy. Its trunk is, you know, it's multicolor. It's definitely peeling usually. Here's some of that Katuk in my zone 1. This is the Trunciflora. This is a yellow Grumichama. Patangatuba, another Trunciflora. I don't think there's any fruits on that right now, Gavin, but let's show them the flowers real quick. So this one was just fruiting. We've gotten a couple of fruits off of it recently, and you can see.
Oh, so good.
Oh, let's see if I got that right. There's a couple of flowers coming, and they fruit right off the trunk of the tree. That's called coliferous production. It's like a cold hardy, delicious grape, and by cold hardy, I would say like mid-20s. So the reds, that variety will fruit in 5 to 6 years from seed. The Saba variety, 8 to 12 years. So shout out to my man, Adam. Did a couple of videos with him recently, Flying Fox Nursery. He really opened my world for Jabuticabas and kind of just got me fascinated with them. And every time I go to his house, I leave with a new variety. And I actually met him 2 weeks ago. And quick story here, this tree is 40 years old. I got it from a guy named John Kimber in Central Florida. Adam brought me to his house, and his dad planted this from a seed 40 years ago. This tree is just unbelievable. It's my biggest Jabuticaba I have yet. Probably stands about 10 to 12 foot tall, and it fruits multiple times a year right off the trunk. Just like this one, you can see it's pushing new growth. Yeah, we've got a Novak over here, and it has beautiful red new growth on it. And I think that's it. You guys just got my favorite fruit tree. And we're gonna go over these questions. So thank you guys for following the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, I cannot believe that this started with this cell phone right here, 2 years ago. And we've obviously moved kind of past that. And, I was excited when I had 1,000 subscribers. Now we're almost at 100,000, and unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty exciting, isn't it? You want to be here? What are you doing? You're not gonna be able to answer these questions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
well, I want to know who said adopt me.
You can adopt me. First time tuning in, I'm hooked. What's going on, Willow? Thanks for tuning in. You should check out some of my other videos. We typically do some pretty epic editing and drone footage and touring and going around the country. I've been to Costa Rica. But so if this live video went well, you guys really like this, it's a big hit, I'm probably gonna do them maybe even weekly. I can actually go live from my drone. So I was considering going live from the drone next time. I'll have audio, I could talk to you guys, kind of fly throughout the food forest, maybe cover some more ground a little quicker. We'll see, I'll kick the idea around, I'll make a post on Facebook about it. We've got some thunder moving in. I'm gonna move through these questions. Organic Grow said, what fruit tree excites you the most? And their favorite was also Jabuticaba. I would have to say that is mine too. So that was an easy one. Tapa, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, you asked for tips on mulberries. They start really easy from cutting most varieties. I've got about 12 varieties here. Prune them a lot. When you prune them, you'll actually get a second fruiting out of them. They thrive on neglect. I don't have any irrigation on them. They seem to take really well in the sandy soils. There is a couple of varieties that are supposed to be a little bit nematode susceptible. I guess they're kind of experimenting with some grafting now. I know coming out of South Florida, they're putting them on the everbearing rootstock. So, best thing I can say is get all the varieties you can get and keep them pruned so you can actually get to the fruit. So that's a big tip right there. If you have not experienced stained fingers and hands from eating mulberries, you haven't lived yet. Is that right, Gavin?
I'm the one laughing over here because I'm the always one with the mulberry warrior all over my face.
Mulberry warrior. You guys got to check out that video with me and Gav. So looking to start my own community garden here in Tampa. I'm gonna kind of probably mess up this name. This was Yamari. Tips on front yard gardens and building soil, etc. And this was in the Tampa area. So #1 tip for building soil, mulch. Hardwood mulch from your tree service. You want that mulch that has those leaves in it, the twigs in it, man, combination of hardwood. Typically speaking, if you can get oak mulch, that is the best stuff you can get your hands on. Tip #2, if it's in the front yard, I kind of have a KIS, keep it sexy. You want to keep it pretty. You want to keep it, appealing. You want to make it so your neighbor is going to want to emulate it. A messy front yard garden isn't going to do this movement any good. We want to keep pretty gardens in the front yard. If you want to look at some of my videos of Jim Kowaleski, he gardens in a way that could be on the cover of Home and Garden magazine. So whether that be in raised beds, whether that be in raised water troughs, I think it needs to be really organized. When we do a lot of edible landscaping, Jim is the man. Yes, heirloom permaculture, you hit that. I like to call it the permaculture mullet, because my main focus is being perennial vegetables and fruit trees, business in the front, so fruit trees that are aesthetically pleasing, whether that be a avocado, a loquat, an olive, maybe a little further south, a lychee, a longan, a mango, something evergreen, not something that's going to lose its leaves or look crappy. So, you want to have it appealing. You want to have it, people are going to ask you questions and want to emulate it and copy it at their own place. So next, Kurt Williams from Australia, what's going on? So he asked me what qualifications you need to do what I do. I don't know. I think really it's experience. It's time in the field. I've been landscaping now for 20 years. I've been doing this since I was 20 years old. I just turned 40 years old for all the y'all that don't know here in July. you know, a lot of my experience, I didn't go to school for this. You know, it started working in the dirt, working with plants that didn't make sense. You know, I used to be a standard landscaper. You know, now we're planting things that you can eat, you know, things that are medicinal, things that bring in beneficial insects, things that make sense, things that are native. So, no, I mean, you can get a permaculture design course. I kind of look at that as the first level. I think you're going to learn the most by finding somebody that's doing it and working with them. Hands-on experience is key. He also asked me what he can grow in Australia that I grow. So if you're in Zone 9B, I don't really have time for that answer, but you can grow everything that you saw today plus some. I don't know what the zone is over there. If you want to drop me an email, I'll try to answer that a little bit more in depth for you. Blake's Natural Life asked about pushing the edge. He's in Tallahassee, kind of establishing a food forest, and he wanted to know about creating microclimates, what he can do for cold in the wintertime. My birthday was July 18th, so a little after you there. I would say, you know, in the wintertime, you know, back in the day, you know, in the citrus fields here in Central Florida and further south, they used to use things like smudge pots, you know, that would burn gasoline or burn some type of petro fuel. You can use, you know, you can use a cold frame if it's just one tree that you're trying to protect. You can use overhead irrigation. You know, in this part of Florida where I'm at, you know, I get 1, 2, maybe 3 to 4, typically really cold nights. If you protect through those cold nights, your trees will never be damaged. I don't do any protection. But you can, you know, you can build a cold frame. You can put a heater out there. You can do overhead irrigation. My buddy Adam uses overhead irrigation. Definitely can't grow rambutan to my knowledge. Maybe in the Keys. I haven't seen it growing anywhere in Florida. Maybe down at Fairchild Gardens. Rebellion Point Farms in North Carolina. He said when to fertilize jabos. So I'm going to refer you to the video I just made about the Jabuticabas, but I would just say you don't really want to fertilize Jabuticabas. They don't like a lot of nitrogen. So if you do fertilize them, you want to use micro and macronutrients. You want to use something really low in nitrogen. You know, you don't want to have a lot of nitrogen there. That's kind of key. So like a 2, 3, 4. My favorite organic fertilizer is called Sustain. Yes, I'm going to Charles Novak's house to make a video here soon. I didn't know he had cashews. He's on my list though. He's epic. I've been there a couple times. Actually, one of the Jabuticabas I just showed you over there on the right was from Novak. So yeah, when to fertilize jabos, I would guess you want to let them harden off if you're in an area where it can get cold in the wintertime. So if you are going to give them that organic fertilizer, you know, give it to them in the springtime before going into summer. That is key. They can be in a pot long term though. So somebody asked me, and I think this is probably one of the best questions. If I was to redesign my farm, what would I do different? I don't even know where to start. There would have been a lot of things I would probably do different. And I'm not one of those people that can sit around and wait. I'm pretty impatient. I like to get things done. I like to make things happen. And I probably should have sat around and observed a little bit more. You know, I wish I would have taken a little bit more time on the design process. I made a couple of big mistakes in the market garden, you know, really kind of looking at what I wanted to do here long term. You know, I spent my first year or two prepping the market garden to grow annual vegetables, and look where I am now. You know, we don't grow any annual vegetables. I wasted thousands of dollars on organic soil out there that turned to sand, that has ants now, when I could have just used mulch that would have been free. So, you know, I would have done a lot different. I guess the biggest thing I would have done was slow down, really kind of step back a little bit. What are you doing here, dude?
You gotta show me.
So Gavin's trying to get up in this. All right. So let's go down the list here. So yes, slow down, observe, you know what I mean? Take your time in the design process. There is no rush. I was in a rush. This is the type of person I am. So somebody asked me about shampoo ginger. The guy that kind of referred to about the flowers being edible on that one would be Andy Firk. He's like my go-to here in Florida. I'm not sure. I know that Paul Mitchell uses the gel for their conditioner. I know the liquid obviously smells amazing. You could rub it on your arms, all that kind of stuff. I am definitely, I'm not positive if those flowers are edible. So that's a good question. I already sent Andy a message and I'm not sure if he's replied yet. Raphael said, thinking about starting a front yard garden. Kind of goes back to that last one. If it's in the front yard, you just want to keep it nice. You really want to take into consideration aesthetics, what it's going to look like in the long term. You want to build and do something, like I said, that the neighbors are going to emulate. You know, they're going to get excited about. They're going to want to, you know, come over and ask you questions. You know, that's the whole idea in this movement. You know, we want to get other people excited. We want to spread the knowledge. You know, we want to teach people. So if you're going to do it in the front yard, just keep it clean, keep it nice. You know, You know, I always tell people start right near your house. Start in zone 1, whether it be a zone 1 herb garden, zone 1, you know, veggie garden, and work your way out slowly. So that was what I did here. I started all the way out there in zone, started at zone 1. Start in zone 1, slow down, you know, meet more people in your local area. I think that's key. Courtney asked for a Jack Frost jackfruit update. I did that in the beginning. Go back to the beginning of the video. It's not quite flowering like that one in the greenhouse yet, but it is back up and at it. Dude, what are you doing back there?
I'm dancing.
Gavin's dancing. All right, Indy Acres, using boulders in the landscape. I use boulders in the landscape for creating edges for where we meet up against grass. You know, it gives habitat for lizards and things along those lines. They hold heat, you know, in the wintertime and emit that heat at night. So they maybe raise the temperature a little bit. Like literally just here behind me is a rock border. That was some leftover materials from a job. So I don't think that's a bad thing to have them in the ground unless it's an area where you have to run a mower or something like that. So, you know, I don't see that as being a very big deal. They're probably something good and beneficial. And, you know, a lot of times in permaculture, the problem is the solution. So Amy asked me for advice on urban gardening in zone 9B. And I would say, you know, refer back to my videos with Jim Kovaleski. We're in 9B. You know, if you want to grow annuals here, we're going to be coming up on annual season like really soon. A lot of farms are kicking off. They'll be at market here by October 1st. But, you know, if you want something that thrives on neglect, that's really easy, that doesn't need water, grow perennials, you know, grow fruit trees, learn about longevity spinach, moringa, katuk, you know, all these other really easy to grow stuff. So somebody just asked me where I got mulch. I'm going to answer that one and kind of start rolling along here. Yes, definitely K&F coming here soon, Valerie. That's something that really excites me. More Jim videos when he gets back, definitely. I just kind of got thrown off on what I was going to answer there. Kevin, do you know where I was at?
On the gym videos? Or?
Okay, gym videos, yeah. No, so, oh, somebody asked about mulch. That's what I was going to say. Contact your local tree services. There's a website called chipdrop.com. Hit those guys up. Get on the list. You got to stay on there constantly. Mulch is key. I would say kind of stay away from the city mulch. Who knows what they're spraying on that stuff? You know, who knows in general? It typically has a lot of trash in it. The best stuff comes from the tree companies. These guys are paying to get rid of it. You know, I know people out in California that follow me on Instagram that comment all the time, and they'd be willing to pay $400 or $500 for a good load of mulch. Like literally. $400 to $500, like, because the power companies out there buy them, they use them for power. You know, here you got to pay to get rid of it. They're not getting paid to dump it, so you're saving these guys. You know, if you tip them, give them a cold drink, make them happy, stay on their butts, text them, call them all the time, have their phone number, that's going to be your best rate for success. You know, and staying on top of the mulch. But hello, Spain, what's going on? So I think we're going to wrap up this video. You guys let me know in the comments if I should try this again. This was definitely a first-time farm tour. What do you think, Gav?
It was good.
You were good?
Live video, yeah.
All right, give me 5. What do we do to people when we're done here, buddy? What do we say?
We say pound dirt and...
yeah. All right, yeah, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and do so. Hit that bell to stay notified. That's going to tell you when I'm doing a live video. You know, that YouTube doesn't tell you all the time unless you actually hit that bell. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And what else, Gav? Most importantly,
pound dirt.
Gavin knows that, pound dirt. All right, I'm going to end this. Thank you all so much for watching.
Shout them out.